Hey guys, I have finally finished my October daily album for 2019. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to film this in the informal filming spot and doing it handheld because it is a 12x12 album and I don't have a place to film it formally in a 12x12. If you saw my flip through of my prep for this year, you will have known how awkward that was, and it'd be even worse if I was doing it over there to show you close up. So unfortunately, we gotta do it this way. It is a 12x12 scrapbook that was in my stash. I picked it up at a thrift store as part of a scrapbooking kit, and I basically, scavenged all the supplies out of it and was just gonna give the book back, but then I decided to recover it and use it as my October daily album because I wanted to use up the 12x12 pocket pages that I had from those Mambi kits that were in Dollarama. So this is the inside cover. I made a gusseted pocket down at the bottom here, just to hold my memorabilia if I had any to hold. I didn't have much, unfortunately. Everything in the front pocket actually is like extra misprints of photos and things like that, but since I didn't know what the month was going to hold for me, I just put together a gusseted pocket to make sure I have lots of space. This is my October daily cover page. You can see there I used some of the chipboard. I was using the Trick or Treat collection from My Mind's Eye primarily for this album. I wasn't able to use, there were only 6 pieces of paper in the collection kit that I had, so I had far more embellishments than I did paper. I had stickers, I had cardstock stickers, puffy stickers, chipboard stickers, there was ephemera pieces, there were brads, so I had tons of embellishments but only 6 pieces of paper to work with. So the majority of the paper in this are a variety of papers from my stash, but the majority of the embellishments are from this collection. And like all of these here are from this collection, as are these the moon and stars and whatnot here. And then I also used adhesive trim that I got on clearance at Michael's like 2 years ago. I made a point of trying to use some of that up in this album. So then I did show this in my album prep video. This is the back of my cover page. I just printed out a bunch of prompts. I didn't actually need to use too many prompts this year, oddly enough, but I did print out a number of them just to have ideas there in case I didn't have anything to do. I used prompts maybe 2 or 3 times this month. This is the page for day 1. I did an entire full page for this one. This was just my October 1st page, or pockets. I had found some of the Halloween bling that I had seen people hauling at Dollarama. So I just had taken a bunch of pictures, didn't know which one I liked better. I found some other bling there as well for relatively cheap, so just took some pictures of that. Down here, I also pointed out that it was crazy weather on October 1st. It felt like August 1st. By the time it occurred to me to screenshot the weather, the temperature had gone down, and it only felt like 27 degrees, but the peak was like 30 or more. This was later in the day. Peak heat was 30 plus with humidity. It was insane. It was very, very, very warm. Just to fill these 2 4x6 pockets on this side, I just put some memes in here. There's that Humpty Dumpty Had a Great Fall cartoon, which I'd seen before. I just thought it was really cute. And then just a meme about him preaching Trump. Now here's where I ran into some problems. My front couple of pages and my back couple of pages don't really want to fold over initially. I don't know if this album just doesn't quite work for pocket pages as well as I thought it did, or if I've done something wrong as far as either the application of items to the pocket pages or the insertion of pocket pages, but yeah, we have this issue. So obviously this is day 2 here. I just put a little journaling card here. Did I mention there were journaling cards in this? Because there were journaling cards in this. So I posted my flip through of my first October daily album from 2018 on this day, and then I also got a stupid amount of spam calls. I usually get like 1 or 2 a day, and I got 4 that day. I might have even gotten more after I took the screenshot, I'm not sure. It was kind of stupid, so I just thought I'd document that. I got a little more filler down here. I just made a little decorative pocket there. And just used a couple of the journaling cards to fill some space. I made another decorative pocket there, trying to avoid the glare, and I'm failing. It was just a very rainy day on the 3rd, so I just took some pictures. I was out for a little bit of a walk. and it was pretty because the fall colors were starting to come in. Day 4, on the journaling card here, I said that I had to turn the heater on for the first time this fall/winter, which was the latest in the 6 years that I've lived here. So I just have a picture of my heater. It's saying hi as in high power, not hello, but I like that it looks like it's saying hi. But yeah, I live in a basement, and I usually have to turn on the heat by like mid to late September. So the fact that it took me all the way to October 4th to need to put the space heater on was like mind-blowing. And then here I said, see, this page is, posted my October daily 2019 prep video. And then I just put a picture of it there. October 5th was Nuit Blanche, which I mentioned in my flip through of last year's album. It's like an overnight sort of like art festival. And unfortunately, this was the greatest thing I saw, and I don't think it was even part of the festival. I think it was just a random busker taking advantage of the crowds. I'll show you a better picture down here. See the picture there? I might insert the actual photo too. But here, down here, it says Haunted Potato is dancing. There's someone in a Haunted Potato costume dancing for money. And I'm pretty sure that was just a busker that was taking advantage of all the crowds. It wasn't actually part of the event, and it was the best part of the event. So I just took some more shots here of this person dancing, and it was funny. This is an entire 2-page spread of my photos from Nuit Blanche. I took quite a few, even though I didn't see a lot. Because, unfortunately, once again this year, it was kind of disappointing. There was this exhibit at Nathan Phillips Square, which is by City Hall, and there was this huge light, and basically these were the best. The pictures I took of the giant light were better than the actual exhibit. So I took like some pictures here of people in line for the exhibit. And basically, I don't know if you can see it well. This thing here, I guess was like a salt sculpture or something. And there were a bunch of them, but the only one that was well lit was this one, because it was lit by this giant sun. It's supposed to be a sun. You had to wait in line to see them, and like most of them were in the dark. There were no lights on them. It was like, I'm not waiting in line to see a bunch of stuff I can't even see properly. And then I just took this picture of the crowd behind the big glowing Toronto sign. On this journaling card, I wrote, this page, the giant sun was the most impressive part of this exhibit. And then on this side, which I'll show you in a second, the Sam sign while waiting for the shitty iceberg piece. And the weird rave-like exhibit about the Raptors, I'll tell you that in a second. And then bonus, the guitarist for Walk the Moon, his son was born on the 5th. So over on this page, you have pictures. If you're not from the Toronto area, strongly recommend. Well, I think it was a Canada-wide chain, right? And the big iconic one was in downtown Toronto, where you had these neon signs and these records like spun. The big one closed, and Ryerson University bought out the location, so they had to take the sign down, which eventually got designated like a historical site, the sign itself. And for some reason, they decided to put it back up in the middle of Yonge and Dundas Square, which is our wannabe Times Square space. But it's up on top of like a completely unrelated building. It's a stupid place. But I realized I'd never actually seen it lit up since it had been put up there. So took a picture. This here is the shitty iceberg thing. It was supposed to be about climate change. And supposedly when you come through here, it was supposed to look like being either inside or surrounded by icebergs. And it didn't, because there was all this wiring. It was thicker than chicken wire, but it basically looked like chicken wire holding this piece up. And so it was basically, you were looking at white sheets held up by a bunch of chicken wire, and there were lights reflecting on it, but you couldn't really like take in what the person was looking for you to take in, the artist was looking for you to take in, because there was chicken wire all over everything. So it was pretty crappy, but the sign was nice. And then I took a second shot when I got closer to it. And then these pictures in the middle, I believe I took this as I was leaving, maybe not leaving the iceberg piece in specific, but as I was walking towards this thing, I could just see this giant crowd and like all this smoke like from a fog machine, and made a cool shot, so I took it. And then as I got closer, there are these hands, one's giving a peace sign and one's just up. And I didn't know what it was about. It was kind of cool, I think there was like a DJ playing, so it was like this weird rave thing. And then I looked back at my pamphlet later and discovered that this was the piece that was about the Raptors winning the championship. I don't know how or why, but apparently that's what this was. And then I just did a couple more filler pieces. Moving on to day 6 was when Walking Dead came back, so I just took the promo image, which was long and skinny for some reason, and cut it up so it would fit partly in these 4x6 pockets and then in this one 3x4 pocket. And then day 7 was my fall questions tag video went live, and that's the picture from the thumbnail. Day 8, these are both Pokemon Go related things. Sorry, not sorry. Day 8, there was a raid hour for this particular boss, Mewtwo. It was makeup from like in September. They screwed up something in the game and they had to cancel it for that day, and for some reason they made it a makeup in October, and I didn't get any shinies, but I got some good ones. And then the next day was Giratina raid hour, which is this boss, and I did get the shiny. This one is usually like red and black and yellow. Actually, I like this color better, but so I got it on my first raid, so that made me happy. So that was the 9th. So this page is a little bit all over the place, but the 10th was these 2 pictures here. It was a spoopy dollar island trip. I picked up this purple frame for Stacy and for myself. Actually, I hadn't bought it for myself yet. I was debating on it and just decided to grab it because, as I mentioned in my Happy Meal video, these never came to Stacy's area, and she loves purple, so I picked up one for her and one for me. And I also picked up this necklace, which I thought was hilarious. It's a light up necklace and it says "No tricks, all treat." So that was funny, so I just picked that up. I just have this as a filler card because I thought it was cute. And then the rest of this page is day 11. Day 11, again, as I mentioned in my Happy Meal video, that was the day that I was stuck in the apartment all day babysitting the furnace guys while they drilled holes in my wall and hung an exposed pipe in my kitchen. Yeah, that's when they were in mid-hang. That's one of the dudes drilling a hole in my wall. This is what it looks like now. It's a nice exposed pipe there. Eventually my landlords are going to come in and I guess cover it the same way that whatever this is, I think it's another exhaust vent, is covered. But that's probably not going to happen anytime soon, because that's like major construction. So now I just have an exposed pipe that goes tick, tick, tick every time the heat comes on, and it's really annoying. So yeah, that's ugly. And then if you can see here in this picture, they had to push my stove over to be able to get up here to drill stuff. And they left a giant mess. Thankfully this pot was already dirty, as was the pan it's sitting on. But yeah, they left all this crap, like drywall and shit, all over my stove. My landlord had to come and vacuum it, because I left stuff all over my floor, so he went and got his industrial vacuum and vacuumed it up. So I was not impressed with that at all. Day 12 was Trapin's Day, again, Pokemon Go. Once a month there's a day, it's a 3-hour event, where certain Pokemon spawn a lot more frequently and you can get shinies. I got 11 shinies, and if you don't play Pokemon, you don't know what I'm talking about. That is what a Trapinch normally looks like. It's like an orangey color, and that is what a shiny one looks like. It's like a dark turquoise color. Shinies are rare and hard to find, so it's kind of fun to get them, and it's especially fun on Community Day because you have a higher chance of getting them. Day 13, I had to use a prompt. The prompt was scary cute, so I just took this cut apart that says "Beware the cute monsters," and that was what I used for that prompt. I didn't do anything exciting on the 14th either, so I used the prompt "Visit a Halloween store." I did some journaling up here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically it's about how the only real Halloween store that we've got in my area anymore is Spirit Halloween, and I refuse to shop there because in recent years, you know, they've been told repeatedly that culturally insensitive / offensive costumes, like, you know, Indian girl and some cowboys and Indians and just anything that takes a culture and makes a costume out of it is not cool. You should really stop selling that. And corporate's response to that has generally been, "We don't give a shit, shut up and stop whining." So a number of years ago I swore I would never shop there again. If they have changed their policy on that, I've never heard about it, so I won't shop there, and I've missed out on some cool stuff, but I won't go to a place that won't listen when, you know, marginalized communities are saying, "Hey, stop making my literal identity into a frickin' costume." So if someone's heard anything about them changing their policy on that, please let me know. But I don't think they have, because they haven't cared in previous years. So that's that rant. And then the 15th was full-size Reese cups. Thank you, Dollarama. I picked my Halloween candy this year, with the exception of one box of stuff that I got on clearance at Metro like 2 weeks after Halloween. All the Halloween candy I picked up this year was Dollarama, those like 10 packs of the fun size, and they have the full-size cups, which is what I think we all deserve. So, very happy to get those.